We are happy to see you again. So I hope week zero was challenging, but you have made it. And today we are here to another challenge that we need to solve. Who is excited about it? Have you take a chance to look it? Or, wow, so many emojis. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Today is another challenge which is called uh, prediction of price movement based on the news sentiments. And okay, sorry for that. So today we are going to be a data analyst or a financial analyst who can analyze the financial stock price movement, because stock price is the major things that in today's world people are wants to invest on stocks, and they want to see what's there, and for their investment they want to know what's the outcome that they gain and how much risk that they need to take. So for that, before buying their stock or before putting their investment, as a financial analyst, you are expected to analyze what's the trending factor. If we see one example, what was the thing after there is a news that's coming on the electronic vehicles, and they are saying that this and that, and due to some political reasons there are some decrease in stock price of Tesla. That means people who there are so many people who need to sell their shares or their stocks from Tesla, and no one wants to buy that because it's blocked in your country or somewhere else. And there might be certain factors that have resulted this price decrease. So, as an data analyst or as a financial analyst, you will be the one who search for this correlation, and from the financial news, what financial news is out there, and what type of sentiments that it have in the stock market movement. So, in this challenge, we are trying to enhance your ability to explore a complex data set, because as earlier said, the data set is garbage, and that's why you are here to extract a valuable insight from the data itself. So you need to unveil a magic from the data that's given. You have to see the correlation. You have to see what's the correlation between this data set, the given data set, and the news that's out there. So you need to demonstrate an ability to employ this innovative thinking, how you will make a crucial decisions for Nova Financial Insights, which they want you to get the correlation between the news and the stock market movement. So basically, this is not like week zero. It's somehow a bit complex than the week zero challenge. So you need to engage as many tasks as possible, and the volume of the complexity of the tasks are uh, designed to simulate the pressure that you in the work environment. So in Novos, what the main business objective, as I have explained earlier, Nova Financial Solutions aims to enhance its predictive analytics capability to significantly boost their financial forecasting accuracy. So for those people who want to invest on this stock market, they need assurance. They need to see data, or they need to see data-driven decisions. So in order to help that, as a data analyst in the Nova Financial Solution, your primary task is to conduct this rigorous analysis on the financial news dataset. So we have provided the news datasets and with respect to their sentiment. Plus, we have given the stock data that contains the stock information in time series wise. So basically, what you need to your analysis should have to focus on the sentiment analysis. If you are not expected to do the sentiment analysis, but what does that sentiment means? Sentiment means the news headlines have their own, either it's an positive sentiment, that means it says that this is positive regarding to this stock market, or they have a negative sentiment. As I've said earlier, there might be a news that says don't buy Tesla, maybe. And also there are a neutral news headlines that says electronic vehicles are like this and that. You didn't find anything either negative or positive. So basically, when we say sentiment, is finding the tone of the writer, knowing the tone of the writer about that specific concept. If you write like I like this car and this and that may translate to a positive sentiment. But I like this car, but I have these issues and that issues. Maybe that can be translated into a negative sentiment if it's have some kind of negative tone. So basically, we will analyze the data into two folds, in the sentiment sense and also in the correlation sense. Then the second one is the correlation. What when we say correlation is what drives this price movement from the news, because the news sentiments, when the news sentiments are in that time are positive, I, they are, maybe, let's say, let me drive one hypothesis. Uh, let's take an example, April 25, and it's all about Elon Musk thing, and he have done this, he have done that, and most of the countries have denied Tesla, and this type of news are there. And the stock price, when you see the stock price, and the price is lower than expected, because most of the people wants to sell their stock. So if you ask me what's the correlation between these two incidents, I would say because there is a news that says don't buy Tesla, the price becomes the stock price becomes less. So that means no one wants to buy Tesla. So this is one scenario that you can build, but you can have multiple analysis on that. You can have multiple correlation analysis. You can run per day. You can run per a week. You can run multiple correlation analysis and hypothesis that you will prove at the end of your analysis. So based on that, your recommendation should reveal the insights that you get from the sentiment to suggest the investment strategies. And you would say that you can predict also the future. So based on that, you will explore the data and you will give actionable insight based on the analysis that you offer, that you have done, and innovative strategy to use this new sentiment and as a predictive tool for the stock market trends. So the next step is to predict what comes next. If a certain amount of positive or negative sentiment news are came, what would be your reaction as a Nova Financial Technology? So you will have that recommendation at the end of this task. And This is if when we came to the dataset overview, this is a financial news and the stock price integration datasets. That's one thing. And if you go to the data part here, can you see my screen? Or yes. So these are the two data sets that we have, the Y finance data, which contains the stock price data, and the raw analysis rating data that contains the news and the news related content. So it's a large file, so you need to explore more on that because the data is not straightforward on the headline or the one that contains the headlines. It have its headline, its URL, its publisher, and the date. And from the stock side, it have the stock symbols. That's either it's closed or it is open or high or low, or it have its own, yeah, stock price data. So you can check or you can refer on Y Finance data how this can be translated to your problem as well. And it have a date indicators there, so you will use that one to correlate the news plus the stock price data. So what's next is regarding to the key dates. If you have questions, because I'm not seeing the screen from this meeting, please unmute yourself and try to speak up.
Okay, Daniel, my
Okay,
question is
thank
that,
you, Daniel.
okay, my question is when you explain about the stock symbol, uh, I take a look at the data and I found no stock symbols there. So I have to correlate with the stocks symbols that we gave us. Do we have to do that?
So did you check the data?
Yeah, I did. And there is no symbol there under the column and symbol and under the column and stocks, I think.
Okay, let me download it.
No, not this one. Not this one.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah,
this one.
raw analysis. Yeah, raw analysis rating.
So this holds the news headlines, not the financial data. The financial data is this one, the stock price data. There are two data sets. The one that contains for this specific, this is for Tesla, this is for Nvidia, and these are some for Google, Amazon, Apple, and for Meta as well. So this is the stock price data, and you need to correlate this with the news headlines. That one contains the news headlines. That's why.
Okay, we take information like the author, URL, and the headline from raw
Publisher
analysis.
reject. Yes, you have the date there. So during that date, let's say, well, let me give you one analysis. You have a date range from May to January. And in that date range, you have multiple news headlines that either their sentiment is positive or negative or neutral. And you can see that data fluctuation on the financial on the stock data or the from
Okay,
the, let's say, let's take the Tesla one. And on
okay.
Tesla, you have
Are you sharing the screen? I only seen the Google Drive.
I'm not saying because this raw analysis data is big, it's not opening for me now. That's why
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Okay.
big. So
So I
I need,
have to correlate within the dates that they given.
yes, that's the correlation mechanism.
Okay, thank you.
So basically what you need to do is there are dates that are specified in both date sets, so you need to correlate with that date range. And since this is a time series analysis, time wise, how did the stock prices fluctuating, and also what's the sentiment of the news headlines overall in that specified range, date range. So for the key dates, we have challenge introduction, which is the session is today, and the interim submission will be on Friday, and the final submission will be on the next Tuesday. I'm saying that if you have any question, please unmute and try to ask. I think Daniel's yours. Maybe it was by mistake. Let me see. Okay, for the communication, we will have all week one channel on Slack, and the office hour is from 8 p.m. UTC to 15 UTC. So you can ask, you can engage with us on Slack with that how. Sorry for the Zoom one. And what's the learning objective with okay, Ashi. On the sentiment analysis, we have given you the sentiment, so you don't need to do that one. So we are here one step from the sentiment. But if you want to explore more on the sentiment analysis, you can use either of the models that are there. Since it's English, you can use the light models that are out there, like Bert Tiny, not the Fine Bert. You can use any of these specified models if you want to rerun the sentiment. But for now, we have given you the sentiment. So only you have to do is the correlation analysis. Girmay, that answers for you. But if you want to do more on that, if you have time, if you want to explore more on that, we would appreciate more to rerun the sentiment analysis model with the light sentiment, and sentiment specific models are there on Hugging Face. You can check and you can use that one. We would love to see more on that. So I'll be much happier than seeing more additional works that you have made. So I promise I will review your work if you add this additional thing. And Hondera, so,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interruption. Can I ask one question, please?
okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think when we do this week's project, I think we have to run some kind of models like NLP tools and something like that. So are we going to use our local machine, or can we use a collab? Because I don't have any background knowledge on those tools. So what is your suggestion?
Okay, for this week, in order to minimize the load from you, we have run the sentiment analysis model, and we have given the sentiments there. You don't need to run that as well, but if you have time and if you want to explore more on the sentiment part, you can go and use the Collab or Kaggle. They give the free GPUs there, but you can also have these light language models that out there on Hugging Face. You can review on that and use the minimum input output requirement, and also the models that are specific to this sentiment only.
So
Did
where
that
can I get those
answers?
models or the files?
Hugging Face.
Yeah, Hugging Face. Can you share me the link?
Okay, I'm trying. Okay, this is the link. So there are specific models for English. It's rich in natural language models, so you can check on this if specific to sentiment.
Okay, thank you.
I think digital robot financial sentiment is there. This model have good accuracy. While checking this, you have to check what type of accuracy does it have and what's the minimum requirement. And if you need to use that from directly from Hugging Face, you can also call through their APIs. And this is the simplest one that I get and have small parameters. So how many days do we have after the early submission? So, or as it's stated earlier, the early submission or on-time submissions are until 11 p.m. UTC in our time, 11 p.m. EAT, not UTC, 8 p.m. UTC. So if you submit 1 hour after that, it still counts as on-time submission. If you have submitted 1 hour after the deadline, that means from 11 p.m. EAT to the next 48 hours, it will be considered as late and you will lose the 20 mark bonus. So there are suggestions here there. Can we make the question final at the final? So after understanding the overall project, and that's good suggestion, we will take their file. And during the office hour, is it possible to have a real-time meeting? Yes. Yes, it's possible. If you have any question, either in group or individually, you can ask your questions. And any question there? If not, let me go back to explaining the project. So as I have told you, this is the libraries that you get or you'll be familiar with DA Lab or finance, but this DA Lab might have some issues, but finance is the good technical indicator that have these the things you need to know. And as week 0 exploratory analysis, or as you have learned on the basic data science workflow, EDA is the basic part. So you need to explore, you need to understand, you need to know your data. Then after that, you will go to running this sentiment or measuring correlation or finding the writing this your findings. So basically, these are the key learning objectives. And on the project planning and EDA stats, so you need to understand the data, explore the data, and you need to apply this statistical thinking. How this correlation happens? What type of hypothesis should I have to list, and what type of hypothesis should I have to test? So for this one, we will expect you to learn. Yeah, self-learning is the key. So these are the proactivity ADA techniques. Then your start understanding will be the key performance indicators. So what's the tasks that needs to be done? As usual, we will have, you have to create a new GitHub repository for this specific week. Then after creating this GitHub, and you have to create your own environment and CI/CD stuffs. Then this is the bare minimum suggested folder structure. And we have notebooks, we have source folder where we put the scripts, Python scripts that we are going to use on the notebooks. And in order to write these modular codes, you need to include these source folders with rich in functions class that you have written on the notebooks should have to be organized in a way that they can be accessed from the source. So for the source, maybe you have a data visualization class, a data exploration class, a class that can be categorized in to address specific tasks. So you can have this class and you can call those class to your notebook. You can add a README on that one, on each the note what each notebooks are and what it contains, and also these source scripts and source are more or less similar. You can use either of them. And tests are mandatory because for production ready tasks, you need to have at least to have unit tests. So we will include unit tests here. So basically your function, your class needs to be tested and to pass at least the unit test one. If you you need to add additional things, the requirement.txt are mandatory because you have a separate environment and the README files are the essential part of this project. So what's the minimum essential to do regarding to this specific challenge? You have to create a GitHub repository where you will host your codes, and you have to create at least one branch that says task one, and you have to commit 3 times with descriptive commit messages and descriptive statistics on the headlines and descriptive statistics on the stock data. So you have certain things that you need to look at it, and you can add also a topic modeling there, either basic things on the natural language analysis or natural language understanding. You have to perform either topic modeling, what are the topics that are categorized under that specific time range, and what's the time, the publication frequency and the publication time, and any publisher analysis, you can do that. And on the other side, we will have the analysis using Finance and TLab, and we have already given the data from by Finance, and you can unload that, and the stock price data have these indicators, and you can explore more on that one using TLab or Finance. So use for us as a suggestion, use the Finance one. That's simple and straightforward with most of the users, and visualize the data. Then it has its own KPIs, and do whatever you are doing in a separate branch. Then commit that into the main, and as committing as much as possible is important thing, because we need to see at least more than 25 commits in your repository. Do that as well. That since your GitHub is your profile, you need to commit more on that one. And from the second task, or the quantitative analysis, and from the first task, you will see what's the pattern on the headline or the news that is posted, and what are the publishers, who are the publisher, what is it is. And on the correlation side, you will see the clear answer for this week's challenge, where you can align the findings that you have into the stock movement. So you have checked, you have understand both of the data, and you have conducted the sentiment on the headlines, and you have done the analysis by daily stock return, and the correlation analysis will be done on that one. So as I have said earlier, this sentiment is an optional thing. If you have additional time and space, you can move into exploring more on sentiment analysis. But for this specific challenge, we have given the sentiments, and you can refer those sentiments as well. So what's the minimum essential to do? You have to merge all the tasks and to main, and you can start from the task 3 and seeing the correlation, what's the daily return on the stock movement, what's the aggregated sentiments that you have, and what's the correlation with the Pearson correlation coefficient. And from the dates, this is the expectation that we have for the submissions. We have interim Git submission and final Git submission, interim report submission. And for the final, we have final Git submission and final report submission. So it have its own page limit. So please try to follow the instruction. For the in-stream one, we are not expecting more than 3 pages. So maximum of 3 pages, and that summarize your initial findings, your methodology, and if any challenge that encountered, you can add. And please try to keep these reports as concise and informative enough to give you what you have, to give us what you have done and what's your plan and what's the things that you are working on. And on the final, what we on the in stream, you have the Git setup task, which is the task one, and the partial progress of task two is expected or to be seen on your Git as well, because that's the progress that you, we assume that that's the progress that you have achieved so far. So please try to include both tasks, not only the GitHub setup, but also the just codes that you have done to understand the data, to explore the data. And on the final submission, we expect you all works that you have done should have to be compiled into a report, not more than 10 pages and maximum of 10 plots that shows the key findings that you find. And it should have to be written in style of publication as a Medium blog. And for the Git link requirement, you have to show all the codes, all the things that you have done specific for this challenge. So other consideration, we can see this documentation, collaboration, and communication plus flexibility, professionalism are the other considerations. So as a tutorial sessions, we have these tutorial sessions. So the first one is the challenge introduction, which is today, and what's the stock market analysis or understanding. I think we have moved this to tomorrow, and you can check the what's the schedule on Notion. That's the actual schedule, but these are the tutorial topics. And these are the reference about the stock market, about Python packaging and data engineering, what you need to understand with regarding to that. And this is all about the week one challenge. If you have any question now, we can discuss, we can read on that. So is there any question that's raised here? Okay, Jala.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good
Am I
afternoon.
audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have one question. Last time when I
Okay.
submitted the first challenge, which was the interim first challenge, I was given by AI 0 out of 6 in using of version control, and the reason mentioned was no evidence of version control usage, and it says it couldn't trace the commit and branch and everything over there. But I have followed all the necessary steps over there, but I couldn't get the reason. Now also the same thing is there in the first challenge.
Okay.
So how can I ensure that my next challenge will not be like this?
Okay, let me explain the things. Yes, it's not for you only, it's for most of the people. I think we failed to extract those interaction with GitHub, and we have checked from our side. Yes, that's definitely from our side, and we are trying to improve on that one, on the Git interaction. I think there is a glitch there. We are trying to fix.
Okay, thank you.
That's not for you, just for all of them.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for understanding. I'm the Mikhail.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, for this week challenges, I think I have seen on task one, the second bulletin asked us to do text analysis using topic modeling.
Mm.
I don't know what is topic modeling and text analysis and other thing. I'm sure most of us are not aware such kind of thing. But when I see on this week tutorials, I don't see anything relating with this text analysis, sentiment analysis. Most of the things are just highlight of tutorials are there. So it's good for us, including those text analysis concepts and sentiment analysis concepts. Maybe it is kind of the question, additionally suggestion.
Yes, I understand your fee, but as an introduction part, the second introduction, which is the stock market data and its and analysis, will include all this information. That means the one you asked on sentiment, topic modeling, what's text analysis by itself. So I didn't mention it here, but the analysis part is for the text. Don't worry, you will have a session on that.
Thank you.
Any questions there? Barakat Halika, I think you would get this one. Maybe if the issue is from our side, we will see that. If it's not fixed today, please reach out to me and we can fix that one. Is there any document you refer us to? You recommend us to refer? I think these are some of the reference that we have attached, and that will give you the initial understanding. And there are a best submission for you that are selected as a best submission in terms of their code organization or in terms of their reporting. You can refer to them on the week 0 challenge. So that would be your input on what submit, if you have anything on what submit. But if you have any while reading this or while trying to understand the concept, if you found any useful material, you can share it with us on the all week 1, and people may get things out of it. Apologies, you're asking we are going to have a Streamlit dashboard? No, for this challenge, so no Streamlit requirement. This week is to understand, it's more about to understand what's coming and how can you translate, how can you be sensitive on the things that are posted on news and the stock market price, and for how can you help those people who wants to have a data assurance on their investment. I think Chala, your hand is raised by mistake, or is it another question? Okay, Ladatu.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, on the datas, like the financial datas, there are a couple of rows like open, high, I mean
Yes.
columns, then high, low,
Yes.
close. I, I don't know if I've missed any of the explanation, but I would like to know what those columns represent.
So the date column shows the stock price date, and the open column shows that when the price is open to the market on that day. And the high column shows what's the highest it's reached during that day, and the low column shows what's the lowest price that it reached in that day, and the closed column it shows that this is closed to for the market. And the volume tag is how many shares are traded in that specific day.
Okay, what about the adjacent clause?
The adjacent clause, I think I need to check on that. Mm, check this one. I'm checking for difference. Just want to give you oversight on that. Mm,
Okay, it's okay.
sorry.
So it's okay. It's okay. Maybe you can refer and you can tell us next time. So what I'm thinking is what we're supposed to do is use the dates from the sentiment analysis and the date from the financial data and connect those to find, to do exploratory data analysis, right?
Mm-mm. Excuse me. Just I missed
So
you.
okay. So we use the dates from the sentiment analysis and also connect those dates to the other table from the financial analysis, the one we've discussed, like the stocks raising up
Yes.
or going down, so that
Yes.
we can see the what's happening, if it's rising up or going down, or what's the
Yes.
reason and everything. But
Yes.
my question is, where do we know because you said the sentiment analysis has been done for you, where do we know it's a positive, neutral, or a negative sentiment?
There is a sentiment column there in the data.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can see it on mine.
Really?
So the columns that I see are, there's a
Mm.
URL, there's a
Mhm.
headline first, and then there's a URL where these
You,
actually came from, and there's a
uh,
publisher, there's a date, and finally there's a stock. I think the stock represents a company's name.
okay. Let me open up my notebook. I think that. Mm, Uh, okay, maybe let me check and back to you because the data is big and not loading for me, but I will get back to you if something is missing there, or I will update the data.
Okay, thank you.
Nuriye?
Okay, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So to add something for the data, the price. Can I speak in Amharic?
ይችላል።
ሶ ምንድነው ማርኬቱ ኦፕን ሲያደርግ ላይክ አሁን ለምሳሌ በ15 ደቂቃ በ30 ደቂቃ ኦር ደግሞ በአንድ ቀን ካንድሎች ያሉ ሪፕሬዘንት የምናደርግበት ማርኬቱ ነው ማለት ነው።
እሺ
ሶ አሁን የመጀመሪያው ላይክ አሁን ከአማዞን ብንሄድ የአማዞን ሂስቶሪካል ዳታ በ1997 በ05 15 ምን ተደርጓል? ኦፕን ፕራይሱ አለ፣ ክሎዝ ፕራይሱ አለ። ላይክ ካንድሎች ናቸው። ስቶክ ማርኬት ታውቅ እንደሆነ ሪፕሬዘንት የሚደረገው በካንድል ነው። ካንድል ስቲክ ፓተርን። ሶ ያ ካንድል ዊክ አለው ፕላስ ደግሞ ቦዲ አለው። ቦዲው ይሄ ክሎዝ የሚለው ፕራይስ የታችኛው የቦዲው ፓርት ነው። ሃይ የሚለው ደግሞ የዊኩ ፓርት ነው ማለት ነው። ሶ የሆነች ቀጭን ነገር አለች ከካንድሉ በታች የምትዘልቅ ማለት ነው። ሶ ኦፕን ሃይ ሎ ኤንድ ክሎዝ። ሶ በላይኛው ስትሄድ ደግሞ ሃይ እና ኦፕን ፕራይስ ይኖራል ማለት ነው። እቺ አጀስት ክሎዝ የምትለው ግን አጀስትመንት ክሎዝ ፕራይስ በላት ምን ማለት ነው? አንድ ስቶክ ፕራይስ ዲቪደንድ አለው። ሶ ያ ዲቪደንድ አንድ ስቶክ ካምፓኒ ላይክ $5 ለምሳሌ የአንድ ስቶክ ዋጋ $100 ነው እንበልና $5 ትርፍ ተገኝቶ ሶ ለሼር ሆልደሮቹ $5 እናስተላልፍ ቢባል ዲቪደንድ ማለት ነው ቢሰጥ ኔክስት ዴይ ዘ ማርኬት ዊል ቢ ኦፕን 100 ማይነስ $5 ማለት ነው። ሶ $95 ሆኖ ኦፕን ያደርጋል ማለት ነው ማርኬቱ ኔክስት ዴይ ላይ። ጀስት ኖት ቢኮዝ ኦፍ ዘ ሴንቲሜንት አናላይሲስ not the fundamental analysis or technical analysis, it's just because of the dividend ማለት ነው። that's why adjustment close price ያልናት እቺን ለመጨመር ነው።
በጣም አመሰግናለሁ።
ቴንክ ዩ እናመሰግናለን። እኔንም ስላስታወስከኝ ረስቻት ነበር።
You're welcome.
እሺ so any question there? ሌላ ጥያቄ ያለው አለ? ጥያቄ ከሌለ አይ ቲንክ አናሊሲሱ የሚሆነው እሺ መልስ
ይሰማል ብዬ ተስፋ አደርጋለሁ። Okay, so I have the same question as Lidetu just raised, but to make it a little bit more specific, those stock names can be sometimes can be confusing. So is there any way we can get the stock names under the raw analyst ratings? Says before in Excel sheet. So is there any way we can get a data sheet that explains those abbreviations like AA, AAC, and stuff?
Okay, we will add metadata on that.
Okay.
I think on the stock data, there is a say that this one is for Apple, this one is for Amazon. I think that's the things needs to be explained. We will have additional data description there. Any other question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you find that sentiment column? Because I'm not able to locate anything regarding the sentiment.
Not really, but I'm trying to open up. Still it's not opening on my side.
I already opened it up in my machine, but there is no sentiment at all. There is a headline and there are some headlinings, but I'm not able to find the sentiment.
So in that case, you need to create them.
Oh.
I am clear. So if there is no sentiment there, you need to create it using sentiment model.
So let me here on the spreadsheet, the first column says headline and the second date and the third says stock. So on the stock it says A, B or something like that. So is that a sentiment or just the stock name?
It's a stock name, not a sentiment. So if there is no sentiment things there, you need to create the sentiment one.
So creating means we have to do it on the Colab, like we have to run the NLP.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I have mentioned earlier that I know that there is a sentiment there, but something is missing. So if there is no sentiment column there, we need to create it one. So either you can create by your side or we can create it for you. But for now, you can explore with creating and until we provide the sentiment for you. Exactly, true. Is there any questions there? If not, I think let's wrap up it here. If you have any question, you can ask on Slack also. If not, we will try to clear up what's confusing there, adding the stock names on the sentiment. So let me clear out the sentiment thing. If sentiment is not given to you, you need to create the sentiment. Exactly. And allow maybe if you are hearing me, if you are not getting the sentiment there, you need to create the sentiment analysis, the sentiment by yourself from the new set line.
So we will create a column named sentiment, and then we will put a data like negative, positive, or what?
Negative, positive, neutral. Either usually it's 0, 1, and 2. It's based on your denotion. But what's expected the output from the sentiment is either neutral or positive or negative. Think you read it. I thought I have seen somewhere else, but that's not for you. I think so. Any questions there? No, if not, so you could ask any questions that you have if things are not clear. Let's wrap up
I do
with
have
this.
one question. Are you going to provide us like a glossary for the stock names? Because
Yes.
when
Yes.
I checked it on that column, it only says like A or AA or something like that. It is not
Yes.
clear.
Okay. We will provide that one.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? If no question, I think you are talking each other. So let's keep up the momentum here, and we can have a discussion there also. Tomorrow we'll have sessions. Let's follow our schedules. Thank you everyone for joining